upon my son. Hush, little baby, breathing so calm. He'll protect us all and keep us from harm. Hush, little baby, still and serene. You are a Muslim, Islam's your deen. Hush, little baby, pure and small.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. In the name of Allah, the most merciful, the most compassionate. Welcome back to one new episode about this theme that's very important, not just for every teacher, but I think for every student and every parent to know the quality of teaching. Can we teach effectively? This is our theme that we are going to cover in the coming episodes as well. And in the previous time, on some Islamic subjects, and we made some pledges that we are going to change our classes and to apply some of these. Just to sum it up, it was about interactivity in the classroom. The classroom is no longer directed to the teacher who takes 98% of the time, rather that we wanted to move the shift to the students, and we'll talk about this later. However, we wanted the class to be interactive. When you enter a class and you find it interactive, everybody is participating and everybody is sharing. This is interactive. It can take different forms. Questions and answers from students to students, from students to teacher, from teacher to students, comments that are made about everyone, even if the teacher makes a speech or talks about something that he expects the students to make comments on his words, on his statements. Also, we said it may take form of debate between one row and another row. It can take a form of group work. Group students are talking about one subject or one issue, and we have many groups in one classroom, so it can take many. Also, people are not aware that we learn in different ways. We learn through listening, through lectures. Some others learn through visual things. Some others learn through interactivity. That's why the rule is that the more the teacher uses different teaching methods, the better, or the more possible that it appeals to the learning styles of many students. And in this way, we can achieve a lot from our teaching. Today, we are going to talk about a new thing. I call it distributive focus. What distributive focus is, you know that in the past, I know that some teachers still do this, which is when they explain a lesson, they focus on knowledge and knowledge and knowledge and knowledge, to the degree that when we translate the word talib al-ilm, knowledge seeker, which in reality, the true understanding of it is not just he's a seeker of knowledge. Yeah, he's a seeker of skills. Now, every teacher should change his brain in a way or another without making an operation. You don't need to go to a doctor to change the way you think. Most of the time, we used to have some teachers who all the time speak and some students, and that's why no wonder if you find half of the students are sleeping in the class, especially if it is a big class. It's because of the teacher, it's not because of the student. If the teacher is speaking too much, of course, people will get tired of this. But if they are interactive, it's more important. Now they discover that every subject, that's why every brain, not just teachers, should be divided into three main categories: knowledge, concepts, skills. Knowledge, concepts, and skills. That's why it may help the class, and we can say, okay, this part of information falls under knowledge, and this part of information falls under concepts, and this one is skill. When we talked about interactivity, and the students are speaking to each other, they were acquiring some skills. The skill of debating, the skill of talking to each other, the skill of ability to convey what they have to others and to listen to others. These are some skills. So every subject matter can be divided into this. And I want you now to focus on the subject that you selected, whether it's Sirah or Hadith or Quran, or which part of it is knowledge, which part of it is concept, which part of it is skills. Let me give you this example. For example, the Quran, you can have the answer is
114.
114. Good. Is this knowledge or skill or concept?
Knowledge.
Knowledge, pure knowledge, right? So this part is known that it is knowledge. When it was revealed in such a year, right? On whom it was revealed, where it was revealed, all these relate to knowledge. Okay, but now, who can explain to me Allahu Samad? Who can? As-Samad. Okay? As you see, not all the hands were raised. When I asked the question, yes, 114, you answered it. All of you got the knowledge of it. Knowledge, gaining the knowledge is the easiest part. It just requires memory. So you can very easily repeat this information that the Quran has 114 chapters. Very easy to remember this. But when I ask you about the meaning of As-Samad, As-Samad is knowledge. But the meaning of As-Samad, what does As-Samad mean? This is a concept. And the way, as I said, the way to deal with knowledge is to memorize it. The way to deal with concept is to understand. Right, very good. So who can explain As-Samad to me? Yes? Okay, good. Give it to him.
As-Samad means absolute. For example, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has many attributes.
Okay,
And for example, He's Rahman.
okay,
So in the absolute sense, He's Rahman.
okay.
It
Okay,
means
can I
he
get-
is self-sufficient.
Self-sufficient. Okay, can I get another one? Yes?
The meaning of As-Samad is the eternal, the absolute.
Okay, good.
The eternal means he's unborn and he's beginningless. And
Okay.
absolute means everybody or everything is dependent on him, and he is not
We're coming.
he's not dependent on anything.
Okay, anyway.
Allah is not dependent on anything.
Answers, as you see. Whereas in the first case, we got one same answer, 114, because it's knowledge, can easily, it's from one source you get it. The other one is a samad is a concept, and it needs to be understood. And the failure of giving the meaning of it may be due to many reasons. One reason is when you explain it in a language that this concept is not there. When you say it to people who in their religion don't have this concept in their religion, it becomes difficult for them to explain it. But mainly here it's due to the English usage of it. You have to understand that a concept is not necessarily to be translated in one word. So in Arabic it is as-samad. In English, I don't find a single word in English that would explain the meaning, because it's a concept. You have to understand it. The concept of samad is composed of two elements in it. Okay? He is the one who is needed by all on him. Okay? Like the sun needs Allah, the air, the oxygen needs Allah, the planets need Allah, the humans need Allah, everything needs Allah, and they depend on him. And he needs no one of them. Allah doesn't need the sun, doesn't need the moon, doesn't need the humans, doesn't need the jinn, right? These two elements together means as-samad. So it is a concept, right? It is a concept. What I'm trying to say, when you deal with the lesson that you're teaching, you have to know where is the knowledge, where is the concept, where are the skills. You have to divide, right? Where is a skill in the Quran? Before I say that, when you do this classification, you can do it throughout the whole year. When you read a book, you can classify it. knowledge, concept. And you can see by yourself which time is spent on more. Is it knowledge or concepts? Concepts. It needs understanding. And the moment the concept is not understood, the whole brain of student is not fixed right. And this is quite obvious in subjects like Tawheed, in subjects like grammar. Because if you don't understand the concept, it doesn't work with you. You'll become weak in grammar all the time. Right? It needs to be explained well. And there are many other subjects like this. So there are some concepts that need to be understood, and they need more time than knowledge. So when you're teaching a lesson, you have to give extra time to the concepts than knowledge. Where is the skills in teaching, for example? Let's take some subjects. Where is the skill in teaching Quran? What are the skills that you need from the students to acquire from Quran when he or she learns Quran? This question, I leave you to think of it. We'll take a break. Don't go away. Stay with us. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Welcome back. We were talking about the skills in learning Quran. What are the skills that you want your students to acquire? And remember the word, I used the word to acquire a skill. Okay, so we said first, knowledge is acquired by remembering, by memory. Concepts are learned by understanding. Skills are learned by practice. Very good, practice. So we have to understand that it requires a lot of practice to know that. Quran. Yes, please. Yes, give me one skill only.
Yes, they must know calculation.
The calculation?
Yes, mathematics for calculating zakat, inheritance, and such subjects. So one thing which is a requirement we can say is maths.
Okay, in parts of it, sometimes, yes, they need to be skillful in mathematics to know how to calculate zakat. Okay, one thing is that, okay, this is the main objective now. Think of big skills first.
Is it tajweed?
Reciting the Quran correctly. You call it tajweed, you call it anything. Reciting the Quran correctly. When they read the Quran, they read it correctly. It's a skill of recitation. Very good. This is the top. Okay, on the top. Good. What else?
And knowing Arabic as a language itself. Not only just knowing the recitation part, but also understanding what he is reciting. Knowing it as a language.
Understanding would come to the concept. And he's saying that I want to focus on skills. Okay, skill of, yes?
Correct pronunciation.
Correct pronunciation, which falls under recitation, but a specific skill which is correct pronunciation. Pronouncing particularly the sounds that are not available in your language. They cause problems. So we need to work on this. Repetition is the mother of invention. It works very well in this. Yes, and the earlier, the better when you work. And this is something good you have to understand. And because this is particularly important for the teachers of Tajweed, you have to understand that skills are acquired by practice. Practice requires time. Because the teacher of Tajweed, sometimes you see the teacher of Tajweed stands in front of a student and he expects the student to give the correct response, right, in 2 or 3 seconds, which is almost impossible. You have to understand that the muscles and this creation takes time for the student to have them. That's why young students learn quicker than old ones, because the old ones, when they acquire the skill of recitation, they have stiffened muscles here. The muscles are not as flexible as the young ones. The young ones can learn 3, 4, 5 languages at a time, whereas old people becomes difficult. Yeah, and old people, you can say, even when they reach 10, 12, 13, 14, it becomes more difficult. More difficult. So it's easier to begin with young children to teach them We talked about the skill of tajweed, and we talked about more specific skills of pronouncing sounds that are not available in your language. What else? What are the skills that you want student to know?
Hifz of the Quran.
Hifz of the Quran. Okay, hifz. Okay, I can say that it falls into yes, skill of memorization. Okay, good. Yes, please.
Writing skills, it would be writing Arabic.
Writing.
Yes.
Okay, I would take writing skills. It falls into Arabic here, but anyway, okay, good. Because it can be writing, and it can be saying, it can be all the language skills are included here because it's language mainly. Any other thing? But anyway, this is clear. So when you design the lesson, you have to divide it somewhere in the lesson plan that these are the knowledge, and these are for concepts, and these are for the skills. What skill do you want the students to achieve in this lesson, in this particular? It can be yes, it can be no, because it's not necessary that every lesson would comprise all the things, but at least you would have this classification, and you need to fill them in every lesson. Quran. Now let's move. Is it clear in the Quran, or do you have any question?
Just a clarification, correct me if I'm wrong, Sheikh. What the sister said and what the brother too said here about how to use the Quranic verses, I feel that it falls into the category of concept. How to do dawah, the concept is to be understood about the verse, the meaning.
I may not agree to this. I think that this falls into the science of dawah or ilm al-dawah or something. Yes.
Some other skill that we can use is, if you read the Quran, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He always reasons. And there are many rhetorical questions. So we can acquire the skill of, having a logical and reasoning mind to sharpen ourselves so that we can better understand the arguments put forward in the Quran.
This is really great. The quality of reasoning. It can be a skill that you want. Skill of reasoning, to know how to reason, and right? So this is something really good. If you have it in your mind, there may be other skills that you may think of later on. If this is one of your purposes and you write it, say that today I am going to teach the student the skill of reasoning. So that means you have to design the lesson to serve this purpose. Good. This is really good. Okay, should we move to another subject? Okay. Now we get into seerah. What is the part of knowledge? What is the part of concept? What's the part of skills? Mainly seerah is knowledge, concept, or skills. Quick answer? Knowledge. Most of the seerah is knowledge. You see what I'm saying? So this would make it easy for us to understand. Good? Yes, because it's dates, events, characters. So, okay. These are the thing about it. It's knowledge. What are the concepts of seerah? Give me some concepts in seerah. Challenge for you. If we can come up with 10 concepts, that we have achieved a lot. Each.
Miracles or revelation?
Concept of miracles, which can be applicable in, and I'll give you one example. The concept of migration, hijrah. Okay, it's a concept, right? Good. Just migrating from one place into another, because this is known to everyone. But the Islamic concept of migration, to migrate all the bad things in your life to get into the good things. So the concept of migration here. What other concepts do you have?
Concept of Tawheed.
Concept of Tawheed, it's in seerah and in all other things. What else?
The concept of governance.
Governance?
Yes.
Give me an example.
For example, when
Hakimiyya?
yes, and
Okay.
most of the time during the Medinian period, you can have many examples from the seerah of how the Prophet, may peace be upon him, governed, and even after the victory over Makkah, what was the governance. So we can learn a lot of things from the governance part of it from the seerah.
For me, it's a little bit cloudy. For me. Yeah, yes.
Concept of leadership, because he was the leader and we are getting the children to
This, but this is only in seerah. Think of it. It can be a concept, the concept of leadership. Okay. What else? How about, should I teach you something? Okay.
the concept of hypocrisy.
Hypocrisy. Okay. Concept of hypocrisy. Yes. Good. Although this, again, can be explained in the Quran or in hadith, of course. The concept of mu'akha, making people as brothers. When in Medina, remember that this concept, this very essential concept, yes, very clearly explained in, yes, when he made each, one from Mecca and one from Medina, they become brother of each other, yes, with all the details in it. So concept of hijrah, concept of mu'akha, what other concepts?
Concept of companionship.
Companionship, this is exactly what I'm saying. The companionship is mu'akha, yes, or brother, yeah.
Concept of teamwork.
Teamwork. We can come to concept of teamwork. Good.
For this religion?
Sacrifice for the religion. Yes. Give me an example.
As the Meccans, they migrated to Medina, leaving behind their family,
their properties. Wonderful.
Properties.
Very good. Very good. Although it can be part of migration, but this is very clear. Concept of sacrifice. Sacrifice. Okay, you sacrifice things for other things. Good.
Yes, we can even have the concept of sabr. If we see the first 13,
sabr.
yes.
Yes, the importance of sabr, and after some long times for sabr, you achieve what can. Very good. What other concepts? Yes.
The concept of congregation.
Congregation, al-jama'ah. The concept of jama'ah, and he mentioned it in a form of group work. Al-jama'ah in the religion, the importance of the practicing in jama'ah. Very good. One other thing, and we'll end.
The concept of a masjid.
The concept of the masjid.
Because
very good.
now we've limited only to a place of worship, but during the time of the Prophet, the travelers who came in could see what the religion exactly was, and so we should broaden our idea for masjid.
I agree to the concept of the masjid, the role of the mosque. Now we are coming to the close here, but I'd like to say that you see that the concepts are trying to come. It's not necessarily that we have all of them in our minds, but when we read, we have this in our mind, right? So you can pick, oh, this can be a concept, this can be a piece of knowledge, and this is what I want to do. Inshallah, we'll continue in the coming episode applying it to other subjects. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu.
Hush, little baby, pure and small, he created you, he created us all. Hush, little baby, don't you fear, we're never alone when Allah's so near. Hush, little baby, breathing so calm, he'll protect us all and keep. Be still and serene, you are a Muslim, Islam's your deen. Hush, little baby, pure and small.